Well, hello, folks. We have made it to Wednesday, last week of May. Last week of May already. Yeah, I have other clothes. I just wear my favorites a lot. Cheers. Well, let's just dive in. I have many different things on my mind. We'll see what I get through and what I don't. Okay. So even though I'm at the age 69, where statistically more people around me, especially people my age and older that I know, are passing away. But I get these feelings. Don't you folks get feelings? And when you pay attention to them, they correlate with things that happen or are going to happen. So, anyway, I have this feeling that arises, and I don't like it when it arises because it's always accurate. And it was rising the last couple of days. So in music news, we hear about the passing of Rick Derringer. Rest in peace. I'll talk about him in a second, but more directly to me, I got a call yesterday, and I don't get a lot of calls because I'm not a call person. I'm the sort of person that when you call me, it's important or someone has died. And I got a call yesterday from Sia, um, adult daughter of an old friend of mine, Tommy Larkin. Tommy Larkin passed away. Tommy was the drummer in the band Scudder before I was in the band, but I was in a band before he joined Scudder back in the 70s called Full Clip, like a gun. And I love Tommy. Tommy was a real great drummer and a great person. Um, he passed away yesterday. His daughter was in shock, but she managed to call me because I didn't stay in touch with Tommy. But whenever we ran into each other, we loved each other. And matter of fact, that's why he left the band Full Clip, because the band Full Clip, this was back in my heavy drug days, and everybody in that band were on poly substances, especially crystal meth, and we would get crazy, and we were good, and we rocked hard, but we fought. We'd get high, and we had fights, unfortunately, fairly regularly. Yeah, fist fights and drawing blood, and then you calm down. Then you finish rehearsal. It's true stories. But Tommy was such a sweet guy, and he got fed up with that, so he left the band. Then, for the majority of his life, he played in Scudder until I don't know when Scudder originally broke up. It was quite a while ago because then the last version of Scudder, which I joined about, I'm bad with time, maybe 6, 7 years ago. Tom Ware was the drummer of the new version, and Tom and I go all the way back to my first record. But what had happened is we had a gig. Scudder had a gig. I don't know how many years ago this was, but Tom Ware had a heart attack on one of our gigs, a Scudder gig, and so he was sidelined for a while. But we had gigs, so Jeff Morris, the leader of Scudder, got a hold of Tom Larkin and asked him if he could come in because he knows the stuff. And Tom played, but Tom was always private, so he wouldn't talk about it. He was obviously in bad health then because he could barely play. And it wasn't the Tommy that I remembered as far as the drumming. And he didn't want to talk about it, but he could not play hard, and he couldn't play fast either. And he didn't look good either. But his daughter told me that he died in his sleep at home, And she didn't go into details, but it sounds like it was cancer related, and he didn't want to be resuscitated. Rest in peace, my friend Tom. That's who I felt the, the passing of, was Tommy. I'll talk about Rick Derringer for a minute, because Rick Derringer within music was respected and recognized. He had those he had some hits, Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo he's known for. I actually had it out. I've got a stack of old 45s. I've got several of the McCoy's singles, including their big hit, Hang On Sloopy, but they put out a bunch of singles. And I have those too, through osmosis. When I inherited Paul Cuevas' record collection, I inherited his ex-wife's collection too, which is a bunch of 45s. It's got her name all over it. When I was younger, when I was a teen, one of the albums I bought with my hard-earned teen money was Johnny Winter and Live. I liked Johnny Winter's guitar playing. I really wanted to like the album because it was, buying records was a big deal. I couldn't afford them. But honestly, I'm just noticing this shirt. I just never wear it. It's one of my old work shirts. I never really settled into the album. I'm looking for here if I can find Johnny Winter right quick, because I have kept. Excuse me, folks. Okay, here we go. So, Rick Derringer was on that album, and the album was very exciting. It was a live album. They played really hard on it, but it was very little of the album that I liked, and so I don't have it anymore. Frankly, I bought it when I couldn't get this second winner. This is my second copy of this. This album I don't play, but this is the one that got me, about Johnny Winter. Rick Derringer's not on here, though. His brother Edgar is. And as you know, Rick Derringer played with Edgar Winter, too. But he played with a lot of folks, so I looked to see what I have that he's played on. I just pulled a couple things. He played guitar and bass on this album, Back to the Bars, Todd Rundgren. Live album. And Rick Derringer is on all of one side of this double album. Haven't played this in a while. And got a lot of respect for Todd Rundgren. I've seen Todd probably more, maybe live, than anyone, because I used to live with a music mate, Dean Dobmeyer, who was a total freak about Todd Rundgren, has seen Todd over 100 times, has traveled to Hawaii to go to those parties at Todd's place. But anyway, as a result of living with Dean, whenever Todd played, he would be like a deadhead and go see him. So I've seen Todd about 9 times. Met Todd Rundgren too. I told you that. He's got copies of my records. And a lab coat that Dean designed but couldn't draw. So Dean, a lab coat for Todd Rundgren. It was a gift that he was going to give him, but he couldn't draw it, so he explained the design to me until I could figure it out. Then I drew it. Then he had it silk screened on a white lab coat. Sure enough, got it to Todd Rundgren. There's a picture of Todd and Dean at backstage where Dean is giving him the lab coat. I designed what's on the coat. Todd has it. Rick Derringer is also on this Todd album, which I love, and it's one of his more seemingly esoteric albums, Initiation. I think this is really good. It's a long album, too. I think it's each album I think each side of this album is a half hour long, which is unusual because you have to make the grooves really, really, really small. So Rick Derringer's on that. But here's one, and I posted this online yesterday. I like to do this because there's so much that most people don't skim over or don't know about that's good in music. Here's an example. The band Eye to Eye. Slightly jazzy, kind of in the vein of Steely Dan, really. Gary Katz, who worked with Steely Dan, produced this. The singer, the lead singer of the band, I can't find her name on here, but she's originally from Nebraska. I like noting that when I find that out. But Rick Derringer plays guitar on the whole album, and he plays a couple of really hot solos on this album. Rick Derringer was a very good guitarist. It is known that he was cited as an influence by people like Eddie Van Halen and others. But here's an album that's slightly more obscure. I love showing people stuff like this, so you ought to know about this. Is good. If you never heard this, Eye to Eye, you'd probably be surprised. It's really good. So the DJ who has been bugging me for stems, you watch me. Sir, the way you're approaching me doesn't work. I don't have to provide you with my material. I don't have to, and so I'm not going to. Okay, so just leave me alone. Pure and simple. I'm working on music. I was in the studio yesterday. But I don't have to work with anyone. And I don't have to send you stems just because you want them. I don't have to. And I'm not being mean, okay? All right? Peace. I have some night listens to show, and I'll go to the comments right quick. Yeah, AI is genie is out of the box. Someone asked me, have I heard Salt's Acts of Faith? Salt, let me just look it up again. I'm pretty sure that's a band that was started by the drummer who was in, I'm not going to look it up right now. Why isn't it showing up? Oh, okay, there it is. Okay. Well, I can now. I get a little combobulated. I've heard the band. I'll look it up and see if, as I check people out, you would be amazed, actually. You would be amazed how much. Okay, yes. I have heard some of this stuff. I'll check out Acts of Faith. You know, a lot of times people will, I'll be honest, a lot of times people make suggestions to me, and it's like, you just, your timing's not good, or I don't know why you think I would like that. It's not that it's bad, it's just like, why do you think I want to hear that? Anyway, I have heard this band, Acts of Faith, and here it comes. I'm bringing it up in the background here. Yeah, see, that's good stuff. I'm not going to run out and buy everything. I'm not going to run out and buy anything, but buy whatever. Yes, I have listened to Salt, and now I sampled some of Acts of Faith, but I'd listened to the band. Yeah. Someone asked me that if the music masks the tinnitus. No, it does not. And today is a louder day. The last 2 days were pretty good. The day before was real nice. Yesterday was quiet. Today it's back. And that's why I hate it, even though I'm getting used to it, because I hear it while I'm listening to music. I hear it all the time. It's there. Music doesn't mask it. Another person, I'm pretty sure that's my friend Robert Stewart, who suggested that I try, and I already have, and I still have some. I forget what he said it was. But I can't remember the name of it. The but I actually still have some. It makes no difference on the tinnitus. And somebody pointed out to me that Sonny Rollins is on a Rolling Stones song. Well, I already knew that. I listen, people. Okay, I really do. I listen to as much music as I check almost everything out. Okay, I do. So some other music that has been played, but besides me um, tinkering on a new some new music and watching TV, mainly music video. Um, this is brilliant, and David Sylvian is um, a consummate artist. The reissue of Dead Bees on a Cake. When this first came out, I had kind of gone a little soft on David Sylvian, wasn't really focusing on him too much. So when the album came out, I didn't listen to it much. I could tell it was good. Since then, the beauty and the depth of his work on this album really comes through. Back when he was still with his wife Ingrid Chavez, Godman is a standout track on here, and consequently, put this away. He's got a beautiful voice, but the way that he arranges music, what he wants to hear, it's fantastic. It's just what I like. So I have this CD single of the song Godman from the album. It's a great song. And the Guy Sigsworth remix on here is killer. I love those graphics too. This is a CD extra that has a short film by he and Ingrid Chavez. This is just really high quality music, and it's just I lament that because of the bottom line thinking of the world, whatever can most easily be sold to the masses is what is pushed up to the front, which means the most simple, easiest to understand, and oftentimes dumbest music and art is what is shoved down our throats by the people who are getting rich off of it. So people don't really get a chance to be exposed properly to stuff like this. It's a cut above. It is. Make you smarter too. They discovered that a while back. Certain music makes you smarter. It helps, especially when you're in your developing years. So some night listens from the last week or so. This is Wall of Sound Recordings, the Strike Boys Selected Funks. And this is something that I found years ago. As I say often, I would trawl for cheap CDs back in the 2000s, because this is a 1998 release. And I really do like electronic music, I do. And so I would just look for stuff that's in that vein. And this is kind of beat oriented. It's simple, very repetitive. They'll add a sound here and there, but it's real forgettable. So like this is like real forgettable. This is out for play. Scott Walker. Haven't played it yet. This is out for play though. I love Scott Walker. Love him. Love his voice. A couple nights ago, and if you see this, Anthony Ferraro, thank you. You've sent me music. I don't really know why, but thank you. Years ago, you sent this to me. Tangerine Dream's Stratosphere, double CD. I listened to all of the first disc a couple nights ago. There's that lovely Virgin logo. Tangerine Dream. Oh, shit. See, that's, pardon me, it's not a double disc. It's 3 discs. I have more work to do here. So I listened to the first disc. Oh, shit, this is cool. This is cool. This is not just Stratosphere. This is several. So we got Anthony, thank you. Thank you. This has Phaedra and Rubicon on it. Then it has Stratosphere on it. And then bonus tracks. Wow. So I listened to it was Phaedra. I was thinking that's the Stratosphere graphics. So that's why it was kind of like when I was playing, I was like, well, but then I kept listening because I knew I was very familiar with it. It's Phaedra. And those early Tangerine Dream records are exceptional and weird. You think you know where the music's going to go. It doesn't always go where you think it's going. Real good. Real good. Real imaginative. Tangerine Dream. Last night, it was really not a night listen. I stayed awake until it was over because it's so good. I hadn't played it in a while. And sometimes I just really need a dose of Alan Holdsworth. So last night it was Chad Wackerman's 40 Reasons. The drummer, one of his solo albums. In many ways, it's just an Alan Holdsworth album. There are tracks on here where the drums are kind of featured. He does some interesting things with EQing and playing with some effects on the drums. But the Alan Holdsworth playing on here, plus his solos. Alan Holdsworth's solos are so packed with emotion and feeling that I have to play them twice. And that happened last night. It's like, I have to hear that solo again. What did he just do? One of the videos I watched was something that someone posted that the video was titled, Why is Frank Zappa History's Most Important Musician? You know, it's clickbait, but it turned out to be a decent overview from whoever the person was. And one of the clips in it is where they're asking Zappa, well, who are some of your favorites? Who's your favorite guitar player? Without hesitation, he said, Alan Holdsworth. Holdsworth was amazing. 40 Reasons. Now, this was a listen yesterday while I was taking a break from working on this new piece of music that just, I love it when the music kind of comes out because I'm not the sort of composer. I like talking to other musicians in person and I ask about processes. I am not the sort of person, like, for example, Simon Joyner. We just recently had a great conversation about songwriting. And he's the sort of person who cannot discipline himself to just sit down at the typewriter or the pen and paper or the guitar and produce. Something has to kind of rise up in him. I'm able to do the thing where I sit down and play until something appears, and then there's other times where I'll have a concept and I'll go and do it. But yesterday was a day where I just went and something started to appear. I didn't have it pre-planned. I listened for it. And that's, you people who like my music, you notice that about it. It's very listenable. There's a lot going on. So when I took a break from working on this new idea, I pulled this and played this. Amorphous Androgynous, The Wizards of Oz, compiled by A Monstrous Psychedelic Bubble Exploding in Your Mind. I have this on vinyl too. I think someone sent me the vinyl. But I had bought the CD I like Future Sound of London, and that's who Amorphous Androgynous is. The graphics got me. The graphics are just great. But this is hit and miss. It's like you have 2 discs to program, and you start off well, and it's a mixture of good stuff and crap. Why did they do that? It's just, I would be listening, and it would go from something pretty cool, and the next thing you know, it's just something that's jamming on, and it's not going anywhere, and it sucks. And it's on here along with the good stuff. Some of the good stuff on here is like Russell Morris, The Real Thing. Remember that song from Australia? Rob Thompson. I forget how you say the name of the album. Warandu. Turnaround. They sound good on here. And what else? Some Cybotron and Tame Impala are on here. But there's some other no names, or at least they're no names to me on here, and their tracks are crap. And it's like, why do that? You know, you were on, it was like we were soaring along, and then we get this dip. It's like, why did they do that? I don't know. That's what I got to share with you today. There's always more. And my neighbors. So, you know, I recently paid the sidewalk bill from the city. And the people straight across the street from me, I've been here for so long that when I moved in here, the lady across the street, her name was Della. And she was raising her grandson. And I was his tutor for a while when I first moved here. Well, she's been dead for years, and he inherited the house. And it's just gone to shit since then. I knew it was going to. I could see it as a kid. He was such a hard-headed kid. But anyway, I don't know what other drugs they do, but they drink. And so last night was apparently a drinking night. What I'm saying here, making the connection between him owning the house, is we all recently got the bill for the sidewalk repair. And I know that their driveway had more done than mine. Not my driveway, but the sidewalk in front of it that the city claims ownership that we have to pay for. Wouldn't be surprised if they're all stressed out over there, because last night, it's like it's been bubbling, and last night, screaming and yelling outside. It's like, that's so strange to me, that people will have a big fight, a screaming fight, and then they come outside to do it. Like they want an audience, like they think someone, I don't know what they're thinking. But I had that last night. Crazy people. All right, folks, that's what I have for you today. Yeah, the ears are, it gets even worse than it is right now. So that's the deal. It'll just go on. Probably tomorrow will be a real loud day. The music doesn't mask it. I just plow through it. Okay, folks, take care. Family, you know.